Okay, so I'm gonna do my day one for reed making, which is just tying and some scraping. So first things first, what you're gonna need is a C-clamp, thread, the cane, which is currently soaking, a staple or a tube. For the purposes of this video, I'll be using a Chiarugi 2 Plus 47mm staple, beeswax, a ruler, pencil, an oboe mandrel, a knife, your reed cup with water in it, and some sandpaper. I'll be back once I've got the piece of cane shaped. Oh, and you'll need scissors. Okay, I'm back with my piece of cane. So while I'm shaping it here, I'm going to talk a little bit about why I'm doing this. I'm basically just doing this as a supplement to my reed making lessons for my students. I kind of want them to have a frame of reference for the process as a whole, so that they don't feel like they can't, go back and reference something, or they can't, see the process again outside of like our, lessons. So this is an additional part of my day one process where I shape the piece of cane, because I have full control of my process. So if you're a young reed maker and you're watching this and you're wondering, what is it that I'm doing? I'm literally just about to shape this piece of cane, because the piece of cane doesn't come, in just one shape. There are many different shapes and they fit many different players. For me, I use a Mac Plus oboe shape, the hand shape, not the machine shape. So this is a part of the process I don't expect students to do, or if they can do. Now you've seen how I quickly just shape a piece of cane before I tie it. There we go, nice and smooth on both sides. Now what I'm doing right here is just a purely cosmetic part of the process. This doesn't really affect how the cane vibrates or anything like that. It's literally so that when I'm tying it, I get a smooth transition from cane to staple instead of getting a bump, which can look rather ugly. And if you're, if you're kind of obsessed with how your reed looks, then a pretty reed is a good reed. All right, so now that I have my piece of cane shaped, I'm gonna go ahead and secure the piece of thread to the C-clamp, okay? So first things first, I get, a small length of thread, nothing wild. And I'll throw it right over the beeswax, then 2, 3. All right, once I've done that, It's time to secure it to the C-clamp. Just 1, 2, and 3 knots will do. Okay, then you pull it tight, pull the spool towards you. Then you take about an arm's length from the spool. You'll take your beeswax and just wax along that length. And then you just re-spool it. There it is. I just felt this C-clamp move a little bit, so I'm gonna adjust it, make sure that it's nice and tight, because you don't want your C-clamp moving around. That's bad. Okay. So now that I've got that, I'm gonna move this a little bit over here so you can barely see what I'm gonna do. Take my oboe mandrel and my staple. Secure the staple to the mandrel. Now you want it to fit, and by fit I mean that the top is almost flush. Okay, let me show you on a different mandrel. So this is my other mandrel, and you see how the mandrel sticks out there? You don't want that. You want this, where it has very little space or it's completely flush. All right. So now that I've got that, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna now put the piece of cane on the mandrel. Okay, now this is where things can get a little dicey. So on a 47mm staple, I measure it to be tied at 73mm. Okay. Right there you can see on my digital caliper, it says 73. And it's right about there. Okay. So now that I have that, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mark where the top of the staple is, and on the piece of cane. So I'm gonna mark it right there with a pencil. Mark this other side with a pencil as well. Okay. Now probably for one of the more frustrating parts, the overlap. And this is where left and right-handed people differ, okay? If you're right-handed, you're gonna do what I do. The blade, this bottom blade, you're gonna see there's a little bit of that bottom blade sticking out on the left side. That's what you want. If you're left-handed, you want the back blade to be sticking out on the right, okay? On this side of the cane. Okay. So once you've got that, it's time to start tying. Now I start a little low. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now you see that I am well below my pencil mark. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start rolling the piece of cane towards me. Okay, towards the spool. Just ever so slightly. Okay. So right there, I'm just about where the cane and the staple are. In fact, I might just be a hair over, so I'm gonna go back just one roll. Right there. Actually, maybe right about there. Yeah. Okay. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the crossover. Right there. So I'm crossing the spool side of the thread over the thread that's already tied, or rather wrapped around, but keeping it on this other side, on the right side of this lead thread. Okay. So again, just gonna force it on over there without crossing past this thread. Now, something that's important to note is that you need this side of the thread to be nice and tight and this side of the thread to be nice and tight. Okay, so now that I've got it crossed over, it's time to just continue going down. Okay, just wrapping downward. Okay, I'm gonna check to make sure that it's straight. Not entirely, I can kind of Force it over just a little bit and it still seals, Let's keep going. Okay, now for the wrapping, you want to make sure that you're wrapping as close to the previous wrap as possible, so that way you're not getting any gaps. Okay, so now that I'm past the piece of cane and I have it down that far, I'm gonna double check my measurement here. Make sure that I am not over 47, and I am not over 47 millimeters. Okay, you never want to be over tied. If you're over tied, that's very, very bad. That means that you're basically choking the piece of cane and you're forcing it closed. You don't want to force it closed. You want it to be secured on there without it being forced. So now that I'm down there, you know, I'm almost done. So now what I have to do is, well, first adjust the camera a bit, because this bit's gonna get a little dicey. Okay. So now I'm gonna unspool a bit, pinch with my left hand. Now, create little bunny ears right here. Go 1, 2. I'm gonna stick that right there. Okay. And just pull it closed. 1, 2. Pull it closed, and I usually only do that once. But then after that, just a basic loop. This side. Pull it tight. 1, 2, and that's more than enough right there. Now to top this off, I like to also secure the cane on this side, or rather the knots on this side, so I create a small little box, throw the cane through, pull it. Second time, pull it, and a third time, pull it. Okay, so now that I've done that, time to cut it free. So I just take the scissors and I cut just both sides of the thread, just off at once. Okay, now we have a tied blank. Okay, now it's time for the rest of my day 1 process. Okay, so from here you can see that I have these small protrusions on the cane on the side. Those are called the ears. I need to cut those off. So from here I'll take it off the mandrel, grab my knife, boom, take that side off, take that side off. Now that I've got that done, now I need my sandpaper. And now what I do, because this shape has a very odd flare going this way where it's a little too wide here at the tip, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sand the entire thing down. Okay, just about like that much is good. There we go, get it a little bit better. Okay. So now that I've got that done, and that was 2000 grit sandpaper if you're curious. So now that I've got that done, it's time for me to add some measurements back here. Okay, so for the very back of the back, that's going to be 51. Then the bottom of the heart is 61. Top of the heart is 66. Okay, 66 is where the inception or the little chevron or house top, whatever you want to call it, starts. Okay, I usually call it the top of the chevron because it's chevron shaped. But if it's easier for you to think of it as a house top, then think of it as a house top. All right, now that I've got those marked away, let me give the reed a dip in the water never want to work on dry cane. Working on dry cane is bad. Also dulls your knife really fast. You don't want that. All right, so I've got that done. So now it's time for me to start the tip. So I'm gonna take my knife, just set it right there, right against the 66 mark, and just start going at it. So right there from the start, you can already see what shape my tip is going to be. And I'm almost done with it. It's almost thin enough. Oh, that's perfect. Okay, let's see if I can show you. So let's see. When you're looking at it with the backlight, it should almost appear white to you. Okay, then you know it's thin enough, and you know you're done with the tip. So now that I've got that done, let me just soak it again. And now we're gonna start with scraping from the back all the way through the heart, okay? So what that's gonna be, it's gonna be 16 total scrapes from back through the heart, all the way through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Now you'll notice that when I did this side, piece of cane was more or less flat. When I did the other side, I had to turn it or rotate it towards the knife hand. You may also find that to be incredibly helpful when you're working on your weaker end. Okay, if you're left-handed, that's going to be this side of the cane. If you're right-handed, it's going to be this side of the cane where you rotate it, either way. All right, now for the other side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay. Now here, I need to ask myself if I'm done, which you might not be able to see. Oh, you can see it from there. Yeah, you can see that little catch that I have. Gonna get rid of that real quick, and then this one's done. Okay. And there you have a day 1 blank. All right, if you feel the need to, you go ahead, rewatch it, pause it, ask questions, and I'll see you next time for my day 2.